Welcome to Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I'm your host, Lipstickpaddy, and today we're looking at Dawnshade. So, let's jump into the highlight reel. Dawnshade, the Watcher's Prophecy. Oh man, this art. Oh man. I am not hot for this art, I'll go straight out and say that. If you told me this is from 1970, I would not bat an eyelid and just agree. And a JRPG should be full of vibrancy, colour, and absolute style, and what's this got but generic fantasy? A chip design kills your character art. It kills it. For me, if the board games got rid of chips, it would be a better industry. I'm just saying that. Alright, you are a pet hurricane. Oh. You see, all my gaming group have already stood up and walked out by now because of all this generic fantasy special words here that you need a glossary for. Now, the box. The box, you can decide to have a square one. However, the damage is already done with this box because all your tiles are the shape of the box. Fuming. It's like I'm angry for some reason. Am I angry? Yes, I am angry. But this is the quest board. Oh, what? That's how big it gets. For the cost of that stack of chips, you could have had an enemy card with special abilities and a miniature. It's that it'll do mentality, which I classify as retail-itis. It stinks of something from retail, where they will limit what the options are when it comes to technology in board games. A chip is so dated and inherently bad for design. Chips are only selling to old gamers. My game group are new gamers from 5 years ago, and they cannot understand why this is popular. You know, I've got like 35 years in the video game industry, and when I see this art, it's going back to the Super Nintendo in 1990 is what this art is. If I ever see a hero or an item with just a generic background, it's lazy. It's absolutely lazy. All these chips here, abstract. Giant character board of dullness. I would have preferred anything other than this, because you are simply fixing this to the box shape. There's going to be more of this. If you like this game, and I would not listen to any more of what I'm saying, because I'm going to be pushy. Enemy art is the face, which is when you see other Kickstarters putting so much work into the enemy boards, enemy cards, and enemy miniatures, and they just come here and just stick the head on a chip. Ringbound is 200 plus, but I'm sure if you get rid of the big hero images you've got on these in the ring binder, you're coming more down to I don't know, much less than that. Much less than that. It's like Animal Crossing first edition is what we're looking at here. As you walk around that world, you've got the same roads. They built this stone road in the snow and in the desert. The same road was built. It's how disappointing. The cards have a whiff of retail. Talisman is doing a better job than these cards, and this is supposed to be a Kickstarter. Are you kidding me? The ability cards, these text-heavy, normal backgrounds on them. Oh, they're so disappointing. This is so expensive. The chips are so expensive, and the game has been designed to go chips from the beginning anyway. So yeah, was looking forward to Dawnshade and Dawnshade when I heard about it being an open world RPG adventure in a box, and it's nothing but that. Is it? You need to look at Ethia. Ethia is where my money would go. Ethia is its competition. Ethia blows it away. Completely blows this out of the water. Ethia is a better system, better on the table, better everything, better. Oh, this game gets me angry. Everything about this design angers me. It could have been an incredible thing, but no. Well, let's get to it then. Let's jump to the Kickstarter page right after this important message from the station. Kickstarter Radio 102.4 does not stand still. It is constantly evolving. Our Saturday show has just been upgraded to the newest, skinniest version, where we only look at the games we covered in the week in a new, skinnier format. Also, our live show on Sunday has been trimmed off the fat too, and we look at games that we could not cover in the week that are full of promise too. And also, we will be covering all the interesting and cool games that are worth your attention, so it is worth subscribing to this channel just to see all that we offer. So why not subscribe and make this channel even better, as we have a ton of social stretch goals, so this channel gets bigger, better, and better for you, the viewer that loves Kickstarters. So if you're bored of retail, this is the YouTube channel made for you. Alright, Dawnshade, the Watcher's Prophecy. An endless, open-world, cooperative JRPG adventure in a box. Well, it might say that, but you wouldn't guess by looking at this picture, would you? Oh man, this art. Oh man. I am not hot for this art, I'll go straight out and say that. It looks so old. If you told me this is from 1970, I would not bat an eyelid and just agree, because it looks so dated. Oh my goodness, it does. I mean, I love Talisman, right? And Talisman has been out for ages, and Talisman does a better job at doing character art than what I'm seeing here. And a JRPG should be full of vibrancy, colour, and absolute style. And what's this got but generic fantasy? Oh, with characters with animalistic features. Oh, what is going on here? Oh, well, 500 backers, it's already pledged, got through its pledge, which is, oh great, props to the team for that. Okay, now, it has a first early bird, which is a 2, it's a $2 chip that they're giving you. And I'll tell you now, chips, firstly, a chip design kills your character art. It kills it, because you're inherently only fitting it on a chip. And I'll have to explain that as we get on it, because for me, if the board games got rid of chips, it would be a better industry. I'm just saying that right away. Alright, you are a Peterican. Oh. You have been called by the high elders of your village to form a kinship task with protecting Kaiba, a flaxen-tailed Petarican you've known since you were younglings. You see, all my gaming group have already stood up and walked out by now because of all this generic fantasy special words here that you need a glossary for. It's ridiculous. Together you must restore balance to a world shattering under the forces of two warring factions. The unity and the might, may the Watchers guide you. Oh my goodness me. You know, when you talk about RPG and the great stories in D&D, and I just read that to my gaming group. Oh dear, they would have. Oh dear me. Now, the box. The box, you can decide to have a square one if you think that, you know, your shelf is not going to like this. However, the damage is already done with this box because all your tiles are the shape of the box. Oh, it's... I'm fuming. It's like I'm angry for some reason. Am I angry? Yes, I am angry. Now here we've got a 3-player setup. Would you have guessed? Now this blue one here is one character. We've got a pink character over here and an orange character over here. You can see they have this beautiful custom dice. Yes. You can see a quest board. This is the quest board. Oh, what? That's how big it gets. That is how big it gets. Now you can see on this battle board here all these enemies, and you can see from afar here that these enemies have, let's say, 4 HP of health that are underneath these characters. So that is how they're displaying it. And I'll tell you, the cost of chips, for the cost of that stack of chips and that enemy chip, you could have had an enemy card with special abilities and a miniature, and it would have come across better because we would have had character art, we would have had a set of abilities, we would have had a fantastic mini that we could have painted up. But here, a chip will do. And it's that it'll do mentality which I classify as retail-itis. It stinks of something from retail where they will limit what the options are when it comes to technology in board games. A chip is so dated and inherently bad for design. It's only selling. Chips are only selling to old gamers. My game group are new gamers from 5 years ago, and they cannot understand why this is popular. Yeah. Now, these cards here for your abilities, look at them. Now, if I told you that they're spell cards, you'd go, that is spell cards! It's like a wall of text. There's no art showing the spell or anything. Also, your story, it keeps talking about this adventure. This quest board here, this is as big as the map gets. You're unfolding certain tiles. It has a timer on it. When it says here, 30 minutes a player, and you can go 4 players. 2 hours on this little board? Are you kidding me? And it has like a timer deck on it. So all of these hexes here, it's like a stack of hexes, and the bottom of the stack is the end goal. Like it could be the boss. And as you put these out on this little board, you're getting closer to getting the boss, and hopefully you're leveling up in time to attack the boss. And then you attack the boss, and then, yay, we finished. And what have you done? In this time, what have you done? Well, you may have been doing things on your adventure from this little tiny map, yes, and you might have been upgrading your character with more of these boring cards. You might have picked up some items, and when you see these item cards, they look worse than you getting Talisman, and Talisman's a retail game. I do like the bag. The bag's being pulled for initiative, which is a little bit of another expensive way to go is to pull a chip from a bag. Now look at the art on these tiles on your journey, and You know, I've got like 35 years in the video game industry, and when I see this art, it's going back to the Super Nintendo in 1990 is what this art is. Yep, it's like completely devoid of detail. This grass which has just been sprayed on each of these, like the first pass, it's like the first art pass before we put detail on it. And this is supposed to be the open world where you're putting these tiles out, these random tiles. But the random tiles, you're going to see this tile in the open world again and again and again, unless you've got hundreds of these tiles. Now the character board here, which, you know, each character board has this magic wing around the outside, and if your character is only focused on fire magic here, then all this other side of the board is irrelevant. They have these agility, attack, items, defense, development, and so there is like a good RPG here, yes, and if you do a miss on the die, you get a bonus here on the overdrive, so you start to cook a big ability of like your ultimate. So that is pretty cool, yes. But I mean, look at these boards. They've got no art in the background, so there's no art putting this dude here in the world. So the only vision we have of the world is the art in the book, and that's it. So if I ever see a hero or an item with just a generic background, it's lazy. It's absolutely lazy. Let's just go up here, look. We're just going to use the same background on each of these characters, change the colour to pink, change the colour to orange. Boom, we've done it. There we go, finished. Yep. How quick was that to just change it? So world building is abstract. I'm going to call it abstract. Abstract forward here. We've seen that tile again, but the book's saying there's a different story there. We've got these, all these chips here, abstract. Giant character board of dullness. I would have preferred anything other than this, because you are simply fixing this to the box shape. There's going to be more of this. If you like this game, and I would not listen to any more of what I'm saying, because I'm going to be pushing into the wounds that I'm making. Yes. Now these characters do have a shield donated by the blue chips underneath here, and you can see all we're getting for the enemy art is the face, which is, oh my goodness, that's all we're getting for the character. It's the face. When you see other Kickstarters putting so much work into the enemy boards, enemy cards, and enemy miniatures, and they just come here and just stick the head on a chip. Now it says intense JRPG-like battles, and they say beloved classics like Final Fantasy, but they're not specifically saying which Final Fantasy. And, you know, so if you can't put a name on the game it's like, then you're just saying it, aren't you? Because I've played all the Final Fantasies and this does not sniff a whiff of it at all. Now there is skill-based challenges, which is nice, yes, but I mean, look at these chips. They're just all copy-paste art across them. This is a giant book. It does have lots of pages where it's just one big art splash. If you see any of the videos when they look through this book, it is, and it's ring bound. It's 200 plus, but I'm sure if you get rid of the big hero images you've got on these in the ring binder, you're coming more down to I don't know, much less than that. Much less than that. With some narrative-driven games, once it's over, it's over. Now, a JRPG narrative campaign game is Madara, and it's like 100 hours. But I'll still replay that campaign. Totally, with somebody new. I'll go back through that game and roll a different character because I love it. There's not, it's over, it's over. And that stinks of JRPG theme through all the characters, the narration of the characters, the art, and all the different weapon cards you're getting. And then you go here, and it's like a Super Nintendo graphics of a top-down walk-around adventure, which would have been niche on the SNES. It's like Animal Crossing First Edition is what we're looking at here. As you walk around that world, just is what it looks like. So, you get the option for the square box, which it'd be interesting to see how many go for that, because the hex box represents a box design which you've affected every box despite its size anyway. You're all going to get these hex mats. Now, the mats do have holes in them here for your dice. You know, they're cut here too for the dials. And only 42 quest tiles. So you're going to be seeing these tiles over and over. And these tiles don't go together. Like, if you put this snow one next to this forest one, it doesn't connect, does it? A desert next to a snow tile you might put together, and it just doesn't look right, does it? You've got the same roads. They built this stone road in the snow and in the desert. The same road was built. It's like, no. Look at all these enemies, just their heads. How disappointing. The heads of everybody. Look, all these robots, you've just got the heads. Now, if this was cardboard instead of chips, this would be a $30 box. $30. You get rid of your custom dice, you put these as cardboard, and what have you got? A $30 box. Custom dice, you can put maybe $15 on for these custom dice. That pushes you to retail of $45. The cards have a whiff of retail. Talisman is doing a better job than these cards, and this is supposed to be a Kickstarter. Are you kidding me? And look at the price of this game. $100. I don't care about that. $2. That's $100 for me. But if you look, most people are going for the 150. All gone? What's all gone? I don't know what that is. Is that the early bird? They stuck it as an early bird pledge, and now the early bird's ended, and it's just gone back to this. I think that's probably what they've done. And, you know, we're seeing innovations in Kickstarter where the heroes are getting swappable arms, they're getting swappable heads in some games, and when you just use a chip, you're living in a fantasy where there's no technological advances. You're just stuck in that fantasy world. Now these HP and shield chips, they are sitting underneath your heads, so doesn't matter that there's nothing on them. Totally doesn't matter. These items as well could have been sitting in the world, you know, they could have been in the world behind this, but no, it just has a background. And these Swift van braces just look like a pair of gauntlets. They don't look like Swift van braces, do they? The greater watches scroll, you could have just said it's a normal scroll. That's my homework on that scroll. It doesn't look like a greater watches scroll, does it? Now you can see the art here. There's a bit of a gun here, yes, and it has a little bit of this and that, but it has the ability cards, these text-heavy, normal backgrounds on them. Oh, they're so disappointing. These dials are going on your corners where you've got your magic, and these cogs are used on your character sheet, and the currency, which they have their own special words for it, but it's just copper, silver, and gold. And yeah, so basically they're designing everything to either a hex tile or a circle, and that's it. Now this Dawnshade bag here, you can see it's purple. Well, up there there's Dawnshade graphics all over it, and we'll have a look at this as we go down as the pledge changes. And the notepad save. Well, you know, your character's sheet, let's just go to this. Hang on, where is it? Where's the character? This one. These cogs that they're moving around. There's no character development between gameplay types here. And when you're saying, oh, if it's a story narrative game, you don't replay it. Well, for the whole 100 hours, my character has been growing into an incredible character. And that's what Final Fantasy is. It's your character going from just a boy or a girl and becoming an amazing hero. And when you change from your scenario to another scenario and all this gets reset, or even if it continues, you are limiting by these cogs moving forward. And also, your ability cards, 24. Sure, Madara has a bucket load of abilities to choose from. Deep character development. And here it's been reduced to a gaming session. Yeah, you can play a different, you can play you play a different scenario and go a different magic. You can do that if you want, but it's still limited experience. Now you can up your pledge here, and I guarantee that this pledge at $100, you are going to be paying the most for this, because when it comes to retail, it's going to be much less. I guarantee it. I don't think this upper pledge here, I don't think this 150 pledge is going to come to retail, so this is for me the Kickstarter exclusive. You've got these chips are much better, but it doesn't matter what the art is, they're going, but better than not having any art, but they still don't look anything special, and they're just going to go under the chips anyway, so who cares? Yeah, so this up here is cardboard. It is all cardboard. All this is card. For 100. How is it $100 for card punch-outs? And this 150 bucks pledge to get them chipped. Why would you even bother doing that? Alright, add-ons here. Yeah, you can add on these other things if you don't want to go for the big pledge, but you'd be a fool not to because this is so expensive. The chips are so expensive, and the game has been designed to go chips from the beginning anyway. So when you buy the retail game, and it's like, why are they all circles? Because the original game wanted you to get chips. Why is my hero board a hex? Because the Kickstarter wanted to have a hex box, is what it did, and it influenced the design going forward. So, yeah, for me, it doesn't care if mats feel good. The art that goes on them is what's important here, and the art is not impressive. It does not hold up to the amazing artwork we're getting on Kickstarters. And this game has a huge competitor out there, which I'll not discuss until the end, but yes, it does. Spot UV on the box, whoopee-doo. More cards that are not going to impress you, whoopee-doo. Whoopee-doo. What we want to see here is more adventure tiles. We want, I don't know, you want more of everything, don't you? Because if it's going to be an open world, you need more stuff to throw in this open world. Now, I'm not going to labour and go through the rulebook here. I'm refusing to do a deeper dive on this because it just angers me, the whole thing. If you want positive action, there's so many videos here that tell you how good the experience is. Well, you know, everyone's opinion is valid. Big box, heavy box, with chips in, yeah, if you give them chips, weighted chips, it will be a heavy box. Shipping prices are good here, good for Mexico, nice, happy with the shipping, and we can see the team here. It's middleweight tier, middleware. So, and then we're at the end. So yeah, was looking forward to Dawnshade and Dawnshade when I heard about it being an open world RPG adventure in a box, and it's nothing but that, is it? So, can it do anything to improve itself? No. It's already made the decisions. When's it coming? Feb 2021. Yes. It's using specific vocabulary where you need a glossary. All these boards I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of the art. I don't like the quest map at all. And the bag here, you're not getting that bag in the pledge. So yes, if you want a real JRPG experience, Midara, and it will be coming up for pledges again later this year when the Act 2 and 3 pledges reopen. You might be able to get Act 1 when it reopens its pledge on Midara. And if you want a map where you're roaring around a map collecting items, which has a far impressive system here, and a more interesting adventure around a map, getting great items and great minis, greatness with it, then you need to look at Ethia. Ethia is where my money would go. Ether is its competition. Ether blows it away. Completely blows this out of the water. Ether is a better system, better on the table, better everything, better. So, Dawnshade, it'll pass me by and I'll never think about it again. Just say ciao, bye-bye Dawnshade, thank you very much. Ether is where you need to look. So yeah, turn your attention to Ether. We did a video on it. Here's the splash screen and the link above for it. You need to compare these two together for a full experience to see why this game simply, what is there to love? What is there to love in Dawnshade? 0 for the hero. And on that bombshell, you've been listening to Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I'm Lipstickpaddy. You take care and stay safe. Bye-bye for now.